Welcome to the Superior Drummer video tutorial series. Custom Vintage is an expansion library for the Superior Drummer plugin that can be purchased to greatly expand your available sounds. Please note that the Custom Vintage sound library requires that Superior Drummer is already installed. Custom Vintage was designed to be a comprehensive collection of the most renowned and obscure instruments from as early as the 1920s Ludwig Black Beauty all the way up to modern drum offerings from Craviotto. In addition to drumsticks, the library also features extensive brush, rod, and mallet recordings of its unique collection of drums and cymbals. The sound library was recorded at 2 kHz Studio in London using an EMI TG desk. This desk was the same model that was used for many legendary recordings from the early 70s, including the Beatles' Abbey Road and Pink Floyd's Dark Side of the Moon. It is considered to be one of the best-sounding consoles ever made. Custom Vintage was produced by the Grammy Award-winning Peter Henderson, who started his career training and working with the Beatles recording engineer Geoff Emerick and the legendary George Martin. Henderson also produced Supertramp's multi-platinum Breakfast in America album, in addition to working with the likes of Paul McCartney, Rush, Frank Zappa, and Jeff Beck. The drums featured include full kits from Noble & Cooley, Camco Oaklawn, Slingerland, Ludwig, and a Gretsch round badge, in addition to a huge selection of snare drums and cymbals. The drums were recorded with a wide variety of vintage microphones by AKG, Sennheiser, and Neumann, including U67s on overheads and KM56s on toms. Custom Vintage also includes a sampling of producer presets created by Peter Henderson. Here's a quick example. A staple of any SDX expansion is the included MIDI library. Custom Vintage is no exception in that it contains its own selection of MIDI grooves performed by Chris Whitten. Here's a quick example. In the mixer, you will notice that Custom Vintage includes close mics for each drum in addition to a stereo ambience channel, mono ambience, and an additional mono ambience recorded with a Neumann U87 run through a Helios F760 compressor. As always, the level of each instrument can be controlled in each channel of the Superior Drummer mixer. Here's an example of the ambience channels included and the kit as a whole. With Custom Vintage and Superior Drummer, the rarest, most celebrated drum sounds of all time are now readily available for your songs.